Let's welcome on board Patanjali Keswani, the chairman and MD at Lemon Tree Hotels, joining in on the show right now. Mr. Patanjali, great to have you on the show. I first want to understand where exactly is this hotel? Because to find such a sizable property in Mumbai itself must be a task.
Good morning, Avan. This hotel is very close to the Mumbai International Airport. So, in fact, if you go on the elevated road from the highway to the airport, you can't miss it because it is the single largest building from the highway to the airport, and it's on the left. So it's about, I would say, about 700 meters or a kilometer from the airport. And as you mentioned, we've just launched it yesterday, and it is the largest hotel in India. So we are very hopeful it'll add significantly to our revenue and EBITDA.
Fabulous, and we're all waiting to actually visit this property as well. But tell me, what's the expectation in terms of occupancy, the target customer cohort, given that this is one of India's prime most hotel properties?
So we have an existing Lemon Tree Premier, which is about a mile away from this one, which is 300 rooms. And that is doing well. In summer, it did 90% at about 8,000 rupees. So we think this hotel too will do occupancies north of 80% at average rates about 12 to 13,000. So it should do well next year. When it stabilizes, it should get into a run rate of about 1 crore a day, that kind of income. And it should make about 65% operating profit.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Mr. Keswani, Ajay here. I'm also joining in the conversation. In fact, I must say that the one you're referring to now, the mile away one, I've been to that one, and it was a good experience and a very refreshing experience visiting that property of yours. I want to understand, Mr. Keswani, you're adding properties at this phase of the cycle. A lot of people saying that, 70% of the upcycle may be getting over now. But as a practitioner, I'm talking about the people who come, fund managers who come on our channel regularly. But as a businessman who's been running this business for decades now, which phase of the hospitality upcycle are we in now, which gives you confidence to add big properties in your capacities even now?
So let's go back for a minute. I don't agree that the phase is ending. In fact, the phase is just beginning. The last phase, or let's say top of cycle, occurred in 2004 to 2008, which is 15 years ago. How do you determine a phase? Is simply by likely growth of demand and known growth of supply, because supply growth can be very accurately predicted for the next 5 years, because that's roughly the time it takes to open a hotel. So future growth of supply is known to be about 5% per year in the branded hotel space, and rate of growth of demand on a secular basis is north of 9%. So demand will be in excess of supply for the next few years, and therefore, without doubt, occupancies will continue to rise and rates will continue to rise disproportionately. Typically 2 to 3 times the rate of growth of occupancy improvement is the rate growth. So for the next 4 to 5 years, there will be definitely top cycle in India. As far as Bombay specifically goes, it has the least volatility in terms of cyclical demand supply, because it is such a deep market that, even in bad times, Bombay does better than most cities in good times. So that is the kind of performance Bombay typically gives, because I'm sure as you know, it is so very difficult to get land at the right price, in the right location, and get approvals in Bombay. So on an overall basis, I am super confident that this hotel will add at least a couple of 100 crores of net to our company.
Could you also, Mr. Keswani, map the trajectory of ARRs? Do you sense that average room rates are only going to escalate from the current levels as we go closer into the elongated festive season this time around. You've got the World Cup as well. And then, of course, you know, the typical year-end holiday season too.
Yeah, so Avan, listen, you know, I don't really look at one-off events because they do not materially add to a company's performance on a sustained basis, obviously. So, you know, while the World Cup will be great, it might add 1%, 2% to your revenue. It is not an ongoing thing. I am talking about an ongoing, you know, a sustained set of performance indicators, and that is fundamentally demand supply. Now, when I look at our business in its entirety and the hotel sector, you have to keep in mind when you say rate increase, our rates today are 30 or now 20% below the top of cycle rates that we achieved 16 years ago. So that's just giving you some perspective. The hotel industry's rates actually deteriorated and kept reducing in the last 16 years. So it'll be a catch up. And a catch up is what? I'm saying that our rates will go up by another 20, 25%, certainly in the next 16, 14, 15, 18 months. And then will continue to rise because I know you will probably laugh at this, but rates of hotels in India are ridiculously low when compared to rates of equivalent hotels anywhere else in the world.
Can vouch for that. Okay, Mr. Keswani, great to have you on the show, and look forward to a visit to Aurika soon.
Thank you.